20 minutes of useless information about Fallout New Vegas. There's a strange graffiti symbol found painted on the New Vegas medical clinic. This symbol is actually a remnant from a cut hobo language that never ended up being implemented. Using these different symbols, the wasteland hobos would have communicated if a place is dangerous, helpful, if there's money to be made there, or if there's a doctor around. The courier would have been able to learn this language as well. Josh Sawyer, the project director and designer of Fallout New Vegas, has his own mod called J Sawyer. It includes several technical fixes and tweaks, especially to the karma system. It also makes the game more harder and challenging. Like for instance, it increases the amount of experience points required to level up by 33%. According to Sawyer, the mod consists mostly of changes he wanted to add to the game, but was unsure if the Fallout 3 audience would have liked them. You can wear certain hats and headwear together with the elite riot gear helmet at the same time, causing the two items to both give their benefits to you. This glitch can be used with the first Repconn beret, ranger hat, fire helmet, Legion Explorer hood, and others. During the final battle for Hoover Dam, you can listen to the NCR emergency radio. If you have the Wild Wasteland perk, you can sometimes hear them say,
"They're coming out of the walls, man! They're coming out of the damn walls!"
And
"Game over, man! Game over!"
References to Private William Hudson from the movie Aliens, released in 1987.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
There's a glitch in the game that freezes time. If you go to your Pip-Boy and open up the world map by closing and quickly opening your Pip-Boy while rapidly tapping the button to place a marker, will make the prompt appear while your Pip-Boy is closed. This will freeze the world in place while allowing you to walk around. Make sure to also unbind the right click on your mouse if you're trying this on a computer. Trying to learn more about Cass will reveal that she's the daughter of John Cassidy, the owner and bartender of the Spittoon, a saloon bar next to Vault City in Fallout 2.
Dad ran a bar a long time ago and it was a labor of love, Mom said. Didn't sound like it made her happy. Still, I'm guessing I got some of Dad's love of whiskey in me because the burn suits me fine.
The player could have obtained him as a companion. He also suffered from heart issues. That's why Cass hates it when you use chems.
My father had heart problems and it ran down the family tree to me. Not looking to have my heart skip its last beat even if I considered putting that junk in my system, which I don't.
The Fiend leaders Cook and Driver Nephi both have cut dialogue that was never enabled. Cook especially has a very disturbing greeting line if your character is a female courier.
"Hey there, sweet thing. Want to ride on the Cook Express?"
And if you go talk to Driver Nephi, he will actually warn you not to go near Cook because of your gender.
Really? Listen, you don't want to mess with Cook, and you really don't want to let him get you alone. Trust me.
Have you ever noticed the sign of the Repconn test site is missing the letter O? Well, you can actually find it at the Gibson scrapyard, where old lady Gibson is using it as a chair, and it's literally titled Repconn's O Chair. If you look closer at dynamite sticks in-game, you can see the real-world American flag printed on them, instead of the 13 Commonwealth one that the United States in the Fallout universe adopted in 1969, which would make the dynamite found in the Mojave Wasteland over 300 years old. There's a glitch that you can use to obtain multiple companions that will follow you around at the same time. First, you must recruit Veronica and take her to Camp McCarran, Vault 3, and Cottonwood Cove, which will make Veronica initiate a conversation with you. By choosing the option Not Now, the glitch will become activated. From there, go to any humanoid companion you want in your group. While standing close by, ask Veronica about the conversation she wanted to discuss earlier.
The Brotherhood is failing. I've always known that. If we don't change course, we're going to fall apart.
She will ask you to take her back to the Brotherhood. This is where you have to select the dialogue option. Why don't you just go back on your own? This will make Veronica leave your group and start walking the Hidden Valley. But if you quickly recruit your other companion, in my case Lily, and then talk to Veronica again by selecting the exact same dialogue options as before, and talk to her one more time, you will have the ability to recruit her back. This will allow you to have both companions, and this glitch can be repeated multiple times. Inside one of the maintenance closets, in the Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters, you can find a robot called Mr. Janitor. Using the terminal there, you can activate him and he will begin cleaning the area. After a while, he'll finish up by dropping all that he collected in a garbage can and return to the maintenance closet. If you check that same garbage can, you can find a couple of hundred caps that the robot had collected and thrown out. The map, located in the Enclave Remnant's bunker, is an early version of the world map where you can see slight differences from the map we can see in the final game. Like for instance, Boulder City streets are shown on the map instead of how it is on the Pit-Boy. It also shows Freeside and New Vegas highlighted, similar to how DC is highlighted on Fallout 3's map. In the mess hall at the Nellis Air Force Base, you can see a couple of VR pods used as flight simulators by the boomers. They look very similar to the ones found in Vault 112 in Fallout 3, where Stanislav Braun had imprisoned your dad in a virtual reality program called Tranquility Lane. If you look at the pods the boomers use closer, you can see on the screen various camera angles of the same Tranquility Lane. At one point, the New Vegas developers were thinking of adding the option to romance your companions. Like for instance, if the player romanced Cass, you would both get drunk and wake up married the next morning. The king was supposed to be able to marry you if you had a high enough reputation with him. In the Brockflower Cave, located east of the Legion raid camp and southwest of Snyder Prospector camp, we can discover Lady Jane's dead pack Brahmin with Lincoln's head strapped to its back. This same head can be also found in Fallout 3 in the Temple of the Union. Since the bombs dropped, it's pretty hard for people living in the wasteland to find good clothing, especially when it comes to shoes. When visiting the boomers at Nellis Air Force Base, you can see some of the little boomers wearing pieces of rubber from old tires on their feet, repurposed as slippers. Papa Khan, the great Khan leader, was originally meant to look a lot different, not having a large beard and looking a bit younger. This version can still be found in the game files. He also had a unique helmet and armor. The armor is very different looking and it was supposed to provide a damage threshold of 8. The cut helmet comes with red glasses and 2 large horns attached to it. In Camp Gulf, there's a picture of Mr.House taken before the Great War, standing in front of what appears to be Liberty Prime from Fallout 3. The picture itself also looks almost identical to a real-world picture of Howard Hughes, the man Mr.House is modeled after. In the early stages of development, House actually looked a lot different with a more creepier vibe to him. His original face can be seen in one of the cut game ending slides. When obtaining the Rawr's Talon in the Lonesome Road DLC, you can craft it into the Fist of Rawr. If you have the Wild Wasteland perk, it will be renamed to Fist of the North Rawr. This is a reference to a Japanese manga series with a similar name, Fist of the North Star. In Vault 21, if you accidentally killed Sarah Weintraub, or if she died somehow, you wouldn't be able to purchase a hotel room anymore, and the vault would be left without a manager. But there was actually a Cut Securitron meant to spawn in her place, with unique dialogue explaining who he is and what he was doing there.
Greetings, citizen. Please, select your accommodation needs. Vault 21's previous manager is no longer capable of servicing your needs. Hotel arrangement functions are now purview of Mr.House. Proceed to your accommodations. Please, enjoy your stay at Vault 21.
He was also able to assist locating the Euclid Sea Finder by directing the player to seek out a man in Freeside by the Eastern Gate.
Predecessor's records indicate matching item purchased by nervous man wearing metal collar. Records indicate man requested free lodging and was directed to concrete building in Freeside. Transmitting coordinates.
When having a wild child reputation, in some towns like Goodsprings or Novak, you can receive a discount from at least one of the merchants living there.
I've got to hand it to you. You've done good things for Novak, but you've also got him a little scared of you, and that's great for business. As long as you keep it coming, I'll get you some things a little cheaper than they should be.
I respect the way you've conducted yourself around here. Reminds me of myself in some ways. From now on, you want to buy from Chet's. I'll give you wholesale prices.
You can repair the broken generator in Sloan if you have a repair skill of 35 or higher. This will enable the lights to turn back on in all the buildings there. Chomps Lewis will also reward you with some NCR cash.
It's nice to see things going the way they're supposed to for a change. I'm going to pay you out of my own pocket for this one.
While adventuring around the Mojave, wherever you are, you can always tune in to Radio New Vegas, with a charismatic DJ giving news and updates about all the things happening throughout the wasteland. But have you ever wondered who even is Mr. New Vegas? Well, according to a blog post by Bethesda, Mr. New Vegas is an AI created before the Great War, 200 years ago, by none other than Mr.House. The blog post reads, Mr. New Vegas is interesting because he's just a voice on the radio. He has no body. He was created by Mr.House, so he's literally just a voice. He tells what's going on in the world. He's always upbeat, and he has some very bizarre lines. Another article by USA Today mentions Wayne Newton, Mr. Las Vegas, as the voice of a DJ programmed centuries earlier. A glitch can be utilized in Goodsprings that allows the player to receive unlimited amount of experience points. You must have 25 speech and 25 barter. After the initial tutorial, you must go and talk to Joe Cobb and offer him to kill Ringo. After doing so, go back and tell him that it's done. This will activate the glitch. Finish the conversation and then kill Cobb and his crew. Then go to Goodsprings General Store and talk to Chet, where you can convince him to donate supplies to the Powder Gangers.
All right. I can give you some of my extra leather armor and spare ammo.
This dialogue option can be infinitely repeated and will give you 25 experience points, as well as 9mm ammo and leather armor each time. There's a blue toy car found in the prison building at Black Mountain, where Raul Tejada is being kept against his will. Reading the messages on the computer terminal next to the toy will reveal the owner, a Night Kim named Cuddles, who wanted Raul to make the car drivable, but because of his low intelligence didn't understand that it's impossible to do so. Leaving the terminal, we can discover that the name of the toy car has changed to Cuddles' toy car, which makes it a unique one-of-a-kind item. There's a funny low intelligence dialogue option at Helios 1 if you have Arcade with you when activating Archimedes.
You activated Archimedes? What the hell are you thinking? You moron! You're gonna kill all the troopers down there! That's it! I'm out! Good luck getting out of this place without being shot to pieces by NCR soldiers, assuming they aren't going to fry to death.
When trying to collect a bounty and deal with Cook, one of the Fiend leaders, you would have the option to kill his pet Brahmin, Queenie, and make him go berserk. When that happens, if you listen closely, you can hear Cook say he's going to burn the world down for his Queenie.
No, Queenie. I'm gonna burn the world for you, Queenie.
Did you know that originally your companions were meant to scream if they were on fire? But the voice lines were eventually left unused. Gojira is an unused creature found in New Vegas' game files. Its model is identical to that of a fire gecko, but 3 times larger. It has its own unique fire breath weapon called the Gojira Flame, which has a base damage of 400 and a DPS of over 3000. It possesses 8000 health points. This creature was created by Seth Makagi to terrorize Camp McCarran just for fun. In the Lonesome Road DLC, at the 3rd Street Municipality building, there's a locked terminal. If you have the Wild Wasteland perk, it unlocks with the password guest, a reference to the TV series Archer, where Sterling Archer tries to gain access to the mainframe of the International Secret Intelligence Service to modify his expense account. There's an easily missed note titled Fine Dining found in front of the Ultralux Casino sign. It encourages the reader to head straight to the Ultralux and dismiss any other casinos in the area. The note reads, Ignore the rabble on the street, the petty farmers and everyman types rubbing their pitiful few caps together in an attempt to elevate themselves to some semblance of class. Ignore the filthy, disease-ridden prostitutes of the Gomorrah whoring themselves to anyone with coin. Walk briskly to the fabulous Ultralux, the only building in New Vegas worth your attention. You'll know it when you see it. Enter the doors of their restaurant, the Gourmand, and speak with the lovely Marjorie. She'll arrange for your care. The Old World Blues DLC has a cut alternative ending where you could have sided with the think tank and, according to the ending slide text released by Chris Avalon, helped them turn the whole Mojave into their own experimental playground. Only an ending slide of 5 Legion soldiers with space helmets flying in the sky remains, with the text reading, "The Legion East were systematically brain scrubbed and rebuilt so that all the inhabitants believed they were in ancient Rome on the moon." While having the Wild Wasteland perk in Higgs Village, a doghouse can be found containing a miniature Deathclaw named Stripe. This creature is actually a reference to the lead antagonist in the film Gremlins. He had a preference for chicken, which is why there's a chicken leg present next to the Deathclaw. At the end of the film, the Gremlin leader dies in a fountain, similar to the one in the center of Higgs Village. That's why also Stripe refuses to go near it. After finishing the side quest GI Blues, you can become one of the kings. This will grant you access to the only hairdresser available in the entire base game, Sergio.
Ah, you returned to me a king yourself. It would be an honor for me to do your hair. That is why you are here, yes?
The only other way to change your appearance in-game is in the Old World Blues DLC using the auto dock. When trying to convince Beatrix, the ghoul who guards the followers in the fort, to go work for the Garrett twins in the Atomic Wrangler, if you have a bottle of absinthe on you, you can use it to help persuade her.
What am I thinking? I'm no whore, and I ain't about to hand my ass over to some penny ante hustler like he owns me. Absinthe? Haven't had a taste of that in decades. If they keep bottles stocked at the Wrangler, hey, you can count me in. I'll head that way and talk to Mr. Garrett.
If you have the Sneering Imperialist perk that provides 15% damage boost against tribals in the Honest Hearts DLC, you will also have a unique dialogue option available when first entering the Angel Cave thanks to this perk.
Hoi, Auslander Zuka Joshua Graham? Scheiß! Would kill you myself, but Joshua says no harm to visitors until harm done to us. Go, Auslander. Meet Joshua. We see how long you talk like that.
At the end of the DLC, when siding with Joshua Graham, you'll have another dialogue option when talking to Salt Upon Wounds.
Outman. Kunaman mad. He kill all white legs. You talk. You stop. Baika Kerr. You devil.
There. That's it. It's finished.
If you have a high luck stat during the quest at Tumor Brute when performing brain surgery on Caesar and not having a high enough medicine skill, an option will appear to trust in your luck and perform the surgery anyway.
I thank you for saving my life. You're a warrior and a healer. A rare combination.
There's a special move for the katana from the Gunrunner's Arsenal DLC called the Unlabored Flawlessness, a reference to the Ninja Gaiden Xbox game where when fully upgrading your wooden sword, it will change visually and become the Unlabored Flawlessness. This same New Vegas DLC also has 3 1-star challenges. When dealing with Mr.House, if you beat him with a 9-iron or Nephi's Golf Driver, a challenge called A Slave Obeys will be completed, a reference to the death of Bioshock's villain Andrew Ryan, who meets his end when the player eventually kills him with a golf club. The title of the challenge also is a reference to the phrase Ryan repeats before he is killed: "A man chooses, a slave obeys."
A man chooses. A slave obeys.
The other two 1-star challenges are titled You Don't Belong in This World, that requires you to kill abominations with specific weapons, and the same could be said of all religious weapons, that requires you to kill ghouls with specific unique weapons like Maria. Both of these titles are references to the intro of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, where Richter says,
"Die, monster! You don't belong in this world!"
And Dracula responds,
"Perhaps the same could be said of all religions."